People often ask me when I'm going to start my real life, look at my empty living room and see a woman who missed her chance. They see the hijab I wear as a symbol of tradition, but they don't see the weight I've carried beneath it. They say a house with 6 children is never quiet. Growing up, our home was a whirlwind of noise, shared shoes, and fighting for a spot on the sofa. I was the 3rd child, the one who learned to bridge the gaps. So, my childhood wasn't about toys, it was about chores, and in a big family you learn early that your needs come last. By the time I was 15, I was already a mother, not by blood but by responsibility. Now the house is very quiet and I am the daughter who stayed. My life isn't what the world expected for a woman with a good job. I am part of the sandwich generation before I even knew the term existed. When you grow up in a big family, you learn early that your needs are not that important. By my 40s, I wasn't just building a career, I was the financial and emotional pillar for everyone. When people talk about being child-free, they usually describe a life of travel, luxury, and sleeping in. For me, being child-free wasn't a choice I made at a brunch table. It was a reality shaped by a life that was already too full of people who needed me. How could I bring a child into a world where I didn't even have a moment to breathe for myself? I married once and I hoped that marriage would be my exit, my turn to finally be the one cared for. But destiny is a curious thing because sometimes 2 good people simply cannot carry the weight of life together. When that ended, I found myself single again in a world that tells women my age we are past our prime.
It wasn't a bad marriage because of hate, it was simply unlucky. Misunderstandings, different paths, and the constant pull of my family back home. When the divorce was finalized, I didn't feel the sting of failure, I felt a strange sense of return. Like a moth being pulled back to the flame, I went back to the only home I knew. But with my salary and my independence, I realized I wasn't less than. I was finally, for the first time, in control of my own breath. My age was supposed to be my prime. Instead, they became a long vigil. First, it was my father. His strength faded like a sunset, and I was there for every shadow. I fed him, I read the Quran to him, and I held his hand until the very last breath. Then my sister. We thought we had time, we thought we'd grow old together, but illness doesn't check your calendar. Taking care of her was different, it was like watching a mirror of myself shatter. Months of hospital nights, the smell of antiseptic, the sound of the heart monitor. I watched her fade. When she passed, the house became so quiet. People still said, "You're losing your best years, you should be out meeting someone, starting a family." But how could I leave? This wasn't a choice I sat down and made on a piece of paper, it was a choice of the heart. If I wasn't there, who would be? In those moments I realized, I didn't have children of my own, but I had become the mother to my parents and my siblings. I had birthed a different kind of love, the love of the end rather than the beginning. I don't feel like I missed out on motherhood, I feel like I've practiced a different kind of nurturing. One that requires no ego and offers no thank you from a growing child. And now it is just us. My mother is 70 and I've stopped complaining to the stars. My life is full. I have my job, which I love. I have my mother, who is my greatest friend. We travel when she's strong enough, visiting my brothers, seeing the world through her older, wiser eyes. We laugh a lot. We find humor in the way she forgets her glasses, or how I've become the man of the house. I believe that if Allah intended for me to be a wife and a mother in this stage, the doors would have opened. Since they are closed, I will decorate the room I am in. There are nights when I am tired. My back aches and I wonder what it would be like to have a daughter doing this for me one day. But I don't dwell there, because if I hadn't been child-free, if I hadn't been unlucky in marriage, who would be here for my mother? My siblings. I don't expect it too much because they are busy with their own family. If I never marry again, I will be fine. If I remain the last pillar of this family, I will be fine. Contentment isn't getting everything you want, it's realizing that what you have is exactly what you were meant to carry. I am 45, I am a daughter, a sister, and a provider, and for the first time in my life, I am at peace. I have learned that child-free doesn't mean life empty. My life is overflowing. It is full of the dignity of service. It is full of the peace that comes when you stop fighting your destiny and start embracing it. I am not a victim of my circumstances. I am the guardian of my family. I choose to enjoy this silence. I choose to find joy in the way my mother's eyes light up when I enter the room. My life didn't look like the pictures in the magazines. It looked like a long winding road of sacrifice. And if I had to walk it again, I wouldn't change a single step. This is my journey and this is my peace. Deep in my heart, of course I want to have children. But with my age, my condition, I have to think clearly that perhaps now I have to take care of my mother and be healthy to face the world.